We're on Facebook Live, the Facebook page. We are at Valenti Classics talking sweet car that someone will have the chance to win. I'm John Mercure, and I'm here with Steve and Matt from Valenti. Guys, thank you very much for being with us.
Sure, thanks for having us.
Before we walk around the car, and I'm so excited to do that, here's the deal. We're live on Facebook, so if you have a comment or a question and you would like to be part of the conversation, do that now. We'll get to as many of the comments or questions that you post as possible. We're live on Facebook, so be part of the conversation. All right, so it is the Corvette Vendetta. This is super sweet. We've got the car actually up in the air that you saw at the beginning there. This is so that we can show folks at home some of the hard work that you guys have been putting into the car. What are we talking about today?
Yeah, today you can you get a unique perspective on the vehicle that hopefully you'll never see again, but we got all of our suspension components installed now. You can see our massive Willwood brakes that we've talked about in the past.
That's
now
cool.
You can kind of see them in person and the design and the style and you know what we could expect out of them. All of our steering components, the rack and pinion steering piece is there.
It's cool to see it shiny and new, like this
Yeah.
has never been used before.
Yep. And that, you know, you kind of see we got a mock-up block in here right now. Matt will kind of unveil the heart of this beast shortly, but there's a mock-up block in here for fitment and alignment. We've got our scatter shield bell housing, our M22 rock crusher transmission, custom cross member mounts and everything. All that's all laid out. When we lower this thing later on, you'll see a lot of the customization that's been done to the cockpit area.
You guys have been doing a lot of work.
Yeah, a couple hours.
Yeah,
have been invested.
2 hours here and there.
Yeah, Matt hasn't slept much. And as we get to the back end, you know, the whole, which is super cool, it's the Sharkbite rear suspension configuration, which is a cantilever setup. And Matt can kind of get into a little bit more detail about that. If you have any questions about it, again, post on Facebook, let us know. We'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Yep. So Matt, why don't we do, did you have a question?
We already have one
Go
question.
ahead. What is it?
One question from Joe. And this is obviously going to be won through our contest on WTMJ and WTMJ.com. But Joe asks, if you were to put this together in terms of it being sort of a retail value kind of a car, how much are we talking?
Well, with all the components and everything else and the labor that's involved in this thing, you're going to be pretty close to $100,000 to
Wow.
build an animal like this.
That is super sweet. All right, Matt, so jump in here. So tell us in a little more detail what we're looking at
We've
here.
got something pretty unique here. What we've got from Speed Direct is the Sharkbite technology rear suspension. It's a cantilever suspension. If you don't understand what cantilever suspension is, you'll notice it from like monster trucks and large vehicles. They use a suspension where they can't have the shock mounted outboard and they need a little bit more travel and adjustability. So what they do is the shock isn't here yet from Super Shocks. It goes here to here on this mounting point to this mounting point, and as the suspension moves, it compresses the shock. And what that does is that takes the shocks out of the equation on the outside, puts them on the inside, and gives us much more free range of travel and more adjustability throughout the shock system. So this is probably one of the more unique systems I've seen for suspension yet. So it'll be fully adjustable, ride height, double adjustable, rebound and compression will be adjustable on there too on the shocks. You know, it's more of a full road race setup.
Just another thing that makes this car so very special. If you'd like to be part of the conversation, we're on Facebook Live. Give us your comment, give us your question. We'll try to shout those out for you. Matt, how much work have you been doing on this? Is it true you're not sleeping a lot these days?
It's true. Not too much. I'll actually be here for quite some time tonight too, trying to get a lot of the odds and ends done for the interior guy, so he can get his fabric and upholstery done. Work. You know, we got some other mounts and hardware, and other metal fabrication to do inside just for the upholstery pieces to fit. So a little bit of that to do. You know, I still got to do the diff. The diff's just in there for a mock-up. I still got to put new bearings, seals, hardened input shafts and output shafts, hardened ring and hardened pinion gear in there. Some work to do still left back here. We are waiting on the shocks from Brian at Super Shocks. They'll be here hopefully this week, and we'll be able to fit those and get that all dropped in here. And then we'll be right back to the engine bay again.
I know working on this sweet car is a lot of work. How much fun is it?
It's a good time. It's all top-notch, high-quality parts. I mean, when you get stuff like that, it's really nice to work with. It drops right in. There is always some fabrication aspect and some fitment and some clearancing. You know, those three things always pop in whenever you build a car. You can't just get away with bolt-on only, and not these days. Let's put it that way.
Steve, you guys are working so hard and you're making so much progress, but this bad boy needs to be done pretty soon. How are you feeling about where we're at?
There's always pressure, and you work better under pressure, I guess. There's a lot of incentive. It's a fun project. It's an amazing build. It's a great opportunity. We've got incredible sponsors involved in this year's build, which we're super appreciative of. But the big incentive there is, our friends over at Road America, an olive branch to us to give us some track time with this thing. So all the extra time and the effort that we've got to put into this thing, and the sleepless nights and the overtime is well worth it, because in the end, when this thing fires up and we hear it rumble and we get to take it out on the track and dial it in, is going to be pretty awesome.
All right, so we are on Facebook. If you have a comment or a question, get it to us, and Steve or Matt will answer those questions to us. Shoot it to us right now, and we will try to answer those. Why don't we do this? Matt and I, Steve, you're going to lower this sweet car, and then we'll get a really good look at it. So while you do that, Matt, let's head over here.
Well, from the previous live interview we had, we kind of discussed exactly what we were doing inside the engine.
Holy cow, look at that.
She's 90% complete.
Wow.
It is a full rotator now. We are waiting on just one small part.
Wow.
And then we will be able to finish assembling everything together. All
That's
those
cool.
components that you saw on the table last 2
Yeah.
weeks ago, that's what's inside here, and that's what makes this beast what it is.
So what makes this so special?
Well, we are using Dart's block, and the Dart block is a ductile iron block. It's a much stouter block than your standard Chevy block, so it'll be able to hold the horsepower we're trying to put out. These are Edelbrock heads. They're Performer RPM heads. Really good high-flowing head. Got nice large valves in them. Lightweight, good cooling capacity. And then, as for the rotator inside, that's Eagle. They sent us the best of the best there. We got a 4340 crank, nice and strong and stout, and we got Eagle's H-beam rods with their bushed ends and the Molly pistons in here. So this is a very nice package.
This is the real deal right here.
It's a very nice package. Definitely long living. Not just your temporary bunch of horsepower and a blow up. It's definitely a long living motor.
You guys do a lot of really good work at Valenti, but you work with all kinds of parts depending on the budget of the customer and so on and so forth. How fun is it to use top-of-the-line stuff from the beginning?
It's great. I mean, you can't tell by my emotions now. I mean, it's great. It's just having the quality and from these manufacturers, top-notch manufacturers, it's awesome. And every aspect of the car is top-notch. I mean, we didn't waste anything here. There isn't anything from a low-budget manufacturing or eBay, anything like that. So.
620 and New Mail Medical want to give you the chance to win this sweet car. We're going to take you over there and show you it in a minute here. We're giving this car away to somebody. You'll have your chance to win throughout the summer. Give us a question or comment on Facebook. And Jay, do we have one?
We do have one from Sean asking, how much horsepower is this bad boy going to have?
Well, I'll be honest with you, and I'm not going to lie. We're going to send her out the door to you, whoever wins it, with 750 horsepower. Wow. We'll be within that window. Obviously, we can't put an exact number on it without a dynamometer. But it is capable of 1,000 with the correct fuel.
Crazy.
With the correct fuel in the car, and fuel is the only thing that's stopping you. You have to have a little bit of race juice in there, but with the correct fuel and the correct tune, this thing would be able to hit 1,000 horsepower.
Wow.
We're going to leave it at 750, be conservative, good gas mileage, you know what I mean?
Hey, let's take a look at the car. So the car, Steve has lowered the car for us now. Steve, what are your impressions when you look at where this is now compared to where it was a few weeks ago?
Yeah, there's a lot of time and money has gone into it at this point. Engineering, the fabricating is just about completed.
Wow, it's gorgeous.
But yeah, it's really coming along. In the engine compartment here, kind of leaning more towards all the customization of this particular build and the capabilities of our shop. Typically, this engine bay would all be blacked out, and it kind of camouflages everything. And for us, we want everything to pop. We want to showcase every really cool component in here. So we opted to take everything off the vehicle and then sand everything down, prep it, and then paint it the titanium finish that we have here.
It's gorgeous.
This is that mock-up block I was talking to you about. We got electric water pump. You can see the suspension from a little bit different perspective now. The headlights, if you kind of look in here, we've got some really cool actuators there. And the headlights originally were operated off of engine vacuum, and sometimes it would look like it was winking at you. One would go up, the other one would kind of slowly follow
Yeah, I've seen
suit.
that, yeah.
Now they're electric, so you hit the switch and they're going to flip right up. And then Matt, came up with a really cool idea with the headlights themselves that are going to be a HID headlight.
With the angel eyes.
So
like a
tell us
BMW.
about that, Matt. Tell us about the headlight.
Well, they now make an assembly for the older muscle cars that looks like a brand new 2016 BMW. You ever see the BMW or the Audi coming down the road at you?
Yeah,
It's
sure.
got that little circle light on, not the full headlight.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. We incorporated the angel eyes, they call them, into the system here. And underneath in the Audis, you'll see like an LED bar. You ever see the light bar
Yeah.
that goes down there?
Yeah.
Them come on too. Them are considered nowadays the parking lights, running lights as you would drive the vehicle around during sundown, dusk, stuff like that. So what we did was we incorporated that. You'll be able to flip the headlights up and run just those angel eyes and those running lights coming down the road to really set the car
That's
off.
sweet.
Bring it, old school to new school. Try to bring a little retro out, So
And that raises a great point, actually, because this is a beautiful car. It's been fully restored, or will be by the time we give it away, and it looks like it did back in the day, but it has all the most modern technology,
Right.
the amenities, the best parts in the industry. It's really a cool combination.
Yeah,
Old and new.
It is. It makes for a real one-of-a-kind piece, and you're not going to pull into any show or any event and have anything quite like it out there, which gives some individuality to it and uniqueness.
Yeah, let's walk back here. So show us what's going on in the cockpit, if you will, here.
Yeah, cockpit area here. There's a lot of safety components, put into this build with, brake, suspension. And if you look, the custom roll bar that was designed and fabricated and installed, that's going to provide a lot of rigidity to the vehicle and make it tight to be able to withstand all the horsepower and the cornering and everything like that, and then also provide safety for the passengers. But it was done in a fashion where you emphasis on the safety and the structural integrity, but then also to kind of have it concealed and let it blend in and flow with the interior. Really cool. Race wheel is a Sparko steering wheel. We use the original column, which is kind of cool, again, blending the original and then some of the modern components. But with the steering wheel, when you're ready to hop out of this car, you flip a little switch.
Wow.
And the steering wheel tilts up and gets out of your way so you can, exit the vehicle, or, when you're ready to hop in and hit the track,
That's so cool. It's a race car.
You latch it, now you're fixed again. Seats are full-on ENG racing seats that are going to be they've been modified a little bit to accommodate this area, this space. They're going to be fully outfitted with top grain leather and a carbon fiber insert material, which is just, we've been working with it, and it's absolutely phenomenal. So that's pretty cool. And this is all kind of the mock-up stage right here to make sure we have clearances and good fitment and function of everything. This little lever here is a hydraulic your parking brake, essentially, but it's built into the brake lines, and it's a hydraulic stop. We're going to have, obviously, the shifter, which we should probably showcase that in this episode. This is that when we did on Gene Miller's show, when we kind of unveiled the whole build, right?
Yeah.
We talked about that tube, that rod of titanium that was about $1,000.
Yep.
Matt will come out here and show you what that solid rod has been turned into for the shifter and what it looks like. So that'll be protruding out of the custom center console area, and it's just a real. There's everywhere you look on this car, there's something just absolutely phenomenal and fascinating.
So special.
Yeah, and it makes it neat. And this was just a really, really cool piece that just fits with the theme, the titanium and everything else. So Matt,
Come on over here and show us what you got.
Well, along with the theme of titanium, which we had talked about last week with our boys at Tie 64, providing all the bolts, fasteners, and hardware to assemble this vehicle, we had another titanium company jump aboard. It's Race Tech Titanium, and what they did was they donated a chunk, and it started out as a cylinder piece of titanium. And we had a local machine shop here help us out and whittle it down to a beautiful I-beam type shifter. Very lightweight, very small, compact, and just really cool looking. They did a nice job over there. The boys are very talented at the machine shop. This is very hard metal. It's hard to machine. but we also thank the guys at Race Tech Titanium for the piece and the opportunity to make something like this. So turns out really cool. So like I said, not only are the fasteners on the car titanium, but what you're yanking on is also titanium. So really nice pieces going into this car.
Probably turned out to be one of the more expensive shifter mechanisms in history, but it's worth it.
It's titanium.
Yeah, I know.
That's so cool.
We'll appreciate it when we're driving it and looking at the pictures and knowing this is going to be in someone else's garage, and hopefully they appreciate it as much.
Jay, do we have comments or questions?
We do have one other question from Jared, who's asking about what the wheel and tire package will look like.
I think
Leave a surprise for that.
We talked about Forge Line are the wizards behind the wheel design and building and everything like that. Matt and I had some ideas, in our head that we were able to get to paper, and then with working with Forge Line on this thing, that you're going to have to tune into the next episode to see what those things look like, because they are
one of the surprises.
Well,
they're pretty
custom
incredible.
one-off CNC rims to fit this car. One off. So
That's pretty amazing.
They're in the works right now as we speak. We should see them next week.
Yep.
Wow. All right, how excited are you? I know you're working your butts off here at the garage every day and night. How excited are you? How are you feeling about things?
Good. It's every little thing that's done. You get the small pieces, and then you get the grander scale, right? But every little thing that's done right now just makes such a huge difference. You just see the progress with every modification, every feature that's put in there. The custom pedal assembly that was all built and then fit to the vehicle, so you have exact placement where you want them, so you don't have any interference with your left and right foot, that sort of thing. It's just to see all that stuff come into the build is really, really cool to see it unfold.
Matt's like grinning ear to ear. Like Matt's like the happiest guy.
That's a good time.
You shouldn't pay him for this. This is so much fun.
Yeah.
He's doing this for free the next couple weeks.
Right.
Fantastic.
The other thing
go ahead.
If you kind of take a peek in there, if you look behind the console there, you'll see that dollar bill we we uncovered. We're not guaranteeing that it's going to be there, but for right now, it's there, keeping an eye on us and giving us the good luck we need to keep this piece.
Okay, so that dollar bill, as you tore the car apart, you found that? Buried in the car somewhere?
Buried underneath the seat, kind of wedged under the carpet.
That's
when
cool.
It was disassembled. That was unveiled. So
It's a cool little part of the story.
Good luck charm.
Anything else, Jay, before we get out of here?
I think we're pretty much having more gawkers and people just in love with this thing than question askers. We're getting comments all the way from California saying how much they love this thing.
Yeah, neat. Well, don't be bashful. There's no dumb questions. We're happy to answer anything you throw at us.
And as a matter of fact, Adrian asked if the gauges are old, classic, or new, as he puts it.
The gauges.
They're going to be quite new.
Last week, the last episode, we had discussed what we were doing, and we're putting the Holley fuel management system in here. Well, thanks to them, they also have a 7-inch display, looks like an iPad, touchscreen dash. That will be replaced in the center, about yay big, and you can move your gauges around, you can change the color aspect, the look from old school to digital new school, and you can have displayed whatever you want that the computer is reading from the engine speed, barometric pressure, just about everything, almost like a weather station on the screen at any time in any color. And yes, for the girls, you can have hot pink if you want the gauges hot pink. That will be on the digital screen at all times. So we figured no old school, no new school, whatever you want, however you want.
I love it. The car with the old school touches and modern technology. It's a great marriage that you guys are putting together here. You can go to WTMJ.com for the latest on the Classic Free Ride, for what's happening here at the Valenti Classics Garage. Check it out, WTMJ.com. You can also get information there on how you'll have a chance coming up here in just a few weeks to begin to try to win this bad boy. Steve, Matt, thank you very much for being with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.